Hello, everyone. Today is May 26th, 2021. I'm here with Matthew Skakun. Matt is a geologist at AECOM, a graduate of Geological Sciences from San Diego State University, and a geologist in training by a board in the state of California. Thanks for coming on the podcast, Matt.
Yeah, of course. Glad to be here. Glad to be invited.
Definitely. How did you get interested in geology, or when did you realize that you would want to be a geologist?
Um, I went to San Diego State as a physics major, and the general education requirements for scientists and engineers are all generally the same. You take chemistry, biology, physics, of course, and my sophomore year, I started looking into the upper division courses for the physics major, and they were kind of a little too general. So I wanted to find something that was a bit more specialized. So I looked through the course catalog and found um, a emphasis in the Geological Sciences College in geophysics, which is essentially using the physical properties of rocks to characterize the ground we walk on, right? You can use like electrical methods or magnetic methods and induce these signals into the ground and determine if it's bedrock or sand or clay, stuff like that. So, without digressing, I guess, too much further, I was looking in the catalog and just chose geophysics in the geology college, and it turned out great.
Nice. That's sometimes people. How old were you when you did that?
Sophomore, I went down to San Diego State straight out of college. So I maybe was like 19 or 20 when I decided.
Wow. So that you didn't really would you say that you knew like that, or it was just kind of like,
No. I had changed my major several times before, like throughout freshman year. I think I changed my major. So I didn't choose geophysics until my third semester. So my first semester, I went in as a physics major, and then I switched to mechanical engineering and took a course in SolidWorks and that kind of stuff. Hated it and switched back to physics
wow.
first semester sophomore year, and then still I was like not convinced that it was what I wanted to do. So yeah, I switched my major 4 times before I knew I wanted to do geology. And then once I guess I was in the program, um, yeah, I mean I was pretty sure. I was
Nice.
pretty sure. Yeah.
That's nice. After, I mean, the first year and a half must have been kind of rough, not knowing which major you wanted to go through.
Yeah, I mean, but I sort of went into it knowing like the first 2 years of college is like general. I knew I wanted to do either science or engineering. And you walk into like the College of Engineering and it's like engineers use the principles of science to form a better tomorrow. And they look to the future. And then you walk into the science college and it's like scientists use the history of everything to try to help the engineers. And I was like, I guess I'll stay in the College of Sciences. It wasn't like, because just in that first class of that engineering class, I just seemed a little too much on the computer, I think.
Got it. And geologist, I mean, seems like it's a lot of, hands-on work.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's like 50-50 field-based. Like, I'd say it's about pretty good ratio, 50% in the field and 50% office work, just interpreting the stuff, the data that we collect in the field.
Okay. How was your undergrad experience? How was the geophysics program in SDSU?
It was good. It was everything that it needs to be. The courses, geophysics is a pretty like complicated field, and for an undergraduate emphasis, I think I took maybe like 3 classes that really, qualified as geophysics, maybe like in class in earthquake seismology, field geophysics, and maybe like a seminar course where we read about like current research in geophysics, right? So the geology department at SDSU does a really good job with undergraduates, keeping their undergraduate degrees being very well rounded. So I had to take classes in like hydrogeology, um, engineering geology, petroleum geology. They just throw all of the different subcategories of earth science at you, and I just took a couple extra in geophysics.
Okay. And
Sense.
that does make sense. What is geophysics then? What specifically?
Yeah, so I was kind of getting into it earlier. It's a broad term, but the best way that I could summarize it is probably using the physical properties of rock to characterize the subsurface.
Okay.
So there's like a few different methods in geophysics. Like I was kind of getting into it earlier. You can use like the magnetic properties of rock based on the content of magnetic materials like iron, magnesium, nickel, that kind of stuff. And it's mostly surveying. So there's magnetics, resistivity, gravity, seismic refraction, seismic reflection, where you use like a sound, or like a what do you call it? What did they used to call it? Just like a source, and you like induce a source into the ground, and then you see how it reflects or refracts through the different layers of soil and rock.
Okay. So you're testing out the ground, the different layers of the rock to be able to define its properties and determine, you have several different methods to do so, and
Yes.
you determine how, this land should best be used.
Yeah, how best it should be used, or a lot of what geophysics is actually used for is like hazard prevention, like seismic hazards. Um, Seismic geophysical methods measure the speed at which, what is it, like, you remember like P and S waves, like primary waves during an earthquake and S waves?
Not
Remember that stuff?
no. Is it
So
secondary waves?
yeah, so there's primary waves and secondary waves. Seismic methods will tell you how these waves travel through the different rock types during an earthquake, and it helps you characterize the land that you're building on so that engineers can use the proper methods to build these buildings. If you're in a sand pit, then the waves will be refracting all off one another and the ground will be shaking like crazy. So the engineers will take that into account and engineer for that or build according to those properties that we provide.
Oh, wow. Okay. And it, as in California, that must be a huge part of your current role.
Yeah, yeah. It's a huge it's one aspect definitely, but it's pretty black and white as far as the data that a lot of my job is just providing data. It's collecting and providing data. So I don't have to get too much into the details of okay, the waves are traveling this fast and this fast. What are we going to do with this data? I just say the waves are traveling this fast and this fast and these different rock types. And then I sort of ask, I bring up that up into the conversation, and then the engineers know what to do. And they say, okay, with these wave speeds, we're going to design it in this way.
Got it. Okay. And then that's in-house engineers for AECOM.
Yes, yes, in-house engineers, civil engineers.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of responsibility. Or you said it was black and white though. Does that mean that?
Well, I just mean as far as the data itself. Like we go out there and we collect the data, and the data is what it is, right? Like if you are collecting seismic data in and I don't mean to get too much into geophysics, but that's just kind of where this conversation landed. If we're collecting geophysics data in sands, and we just have to tell the engineers, hey, these are really high velocities in these sands, and that's what I meant by black and white. It's just
Okay.
it is what it is. So how are we going to deal with it?
Versus a sediment that's a lot more dense and solid than.
Exactly, versus like a granite. Like in San Diego, you have bedrock is granite, so the velocities are shoot, I might be getting this wrong, but the velocities are what is so I don't want to get too much into the details, but in loose sediments, the waves will travel slower than in hard rock.
Okay. And what's
So the issue with sands is it bounces off and reflects and refracts back and forth to one another, and that's why you get the shaking. But in like a granite, the seismic waves travel from one end to the other very quickly, and then they dissipate.
Oh, wow.
They're not constantly bouncing off, one end to the other.
So that's a lower impact on that area overall.
Yeah, I don't know if I could go on record saying that, but I think so, generally
Okay.
speaking.
It
Just
seems
like,
okay.
theoretically speaking. I can't speak for San Diego or LA County or Orange County as a whole, but in hard, like granite-like rocks, waves travel quickly from one end to the other, and then in sand, basins and valleys, it kind of bounces off one end and the other.
Got it. And is all of Southern California on a bed of granite?
No. San Diego is, and then once you get north of maybe like Camp Pendleton, it starts to get into like the LA Basin.
Okay.
And the LA Basin is all loosely consolidated sands and clays and silts, stuff like that.
Silt?
Silt, yeah.
What's silt?
Silt is like clay, but it's non-plastic. So
Okay.
clay, you feel clay and it's kind of like, elastic. You can kind of, it's a little sticky. But silt is like a fine grained particle that has non-plastic properties.
Okay. So it's less malleable than clay,
Yes. It's more granular.
more granular. Okay. I might have to look up that word after this.
It's just less. What is it? It has to do with cohesion. We could look it up later.
Okay. Wow. And is that something, so would geologists in other parts of the country be less worried about seismic vibrations and more worried about other issues?
Sure, definitely. Yeah, I mean, in California, seismic hazards are definitely at the top of the list. But there's also like there's also landslides are like a pretty major hazard, right? In other parts of the country, say like, I don't know, Ohio or Tennessee or Arkansas or places kind of, is that the Midwest?
I think Ohio might be the mid. I'm not sure if it is. I don't think Tennessee or Arkansas are the Midwest, though. I
They're kind
think,
of more southern, right? But just like along those, what is that? Like along those longitudes, from maybe like, the East Coast up until like Colorado, I'd say.
okay.
There's more limestone, and limestone dissolves. Like there's some properties of limestone where it dissolves when water runs through it. So there's sinkholes.
Oh, wow.
Sinkholes are a big problem, a bigger problem on the East Coast than they are here on the West Coast because we don't have a lot of limestone here.
Got it.
Karst. It's called karst limestone. Karst.
Karst.
Yeah.
And that's the what was that?
I was just gonna say that's just the um, special type of limestone that is found on the East Coast, Midwest, that that forms sinkholes, and there's all kinds of famous stories and famous case studies. One in particular, there's like a Corvette museum or something like that. I can't remember exactly where it was. Maybe like Kansas or Kentucky or somewhere, but there was, this whatever year it was, 1975 Corvette up on the podium, up on stage, and then all of the weight from the vehicles in the museum collapsed this sinkhole. So yeah, there's this giant sinkhole where this Corvette museum used to be.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah.
How deep is that sinkhole? Or how deep are sinkholes
Shoot.
generally?
Oh man, they can be very deep. Say, I don't know, 100 feet would be like really deep, right?
Yes.
I'm sure there might even be some that are like greater than 100 feet, but that's probably a little. That's definitely rare. I think the average depth of a sinkhole is probably anywhere from like 5 to 20 feet. I don't think, it's not common for them to probably get greater than 20 feet. But again, that's not my specialty, so I can't
Got it.
really speak too much on that.
Did you specialize in grad school?
In grad school, not so much. it was more general. My focus on paper is just general geological sciences, I think, but my research was we used seismic methods in the ocean,
Oh, wow.
and we collected seismic data, shallow seismic data, to search for paleo channels or paleo environments, which is basically old environments, right? Because 10,000 years ago, 11,000 years ago, when the sea level was lower, the continental shelf would have been exposed, right?
Yes.
So ancient civilizations, this is the idea, is that ancient civilizations traveling up and down the coast would have left evidence of their presence, right? So my project and my advisor's sort of was part of this interdisciplinary group with Oregon State University and the LA Natural History Museum. And we went on these research cruises to the Channel Islands and Central Oregon, and we collected seismic data to try to characterize the subsurface offshore of river systems.
Wow. How do you collect seismic data on in shallow areas?
Yeah, so the reason that we collected shallow data, is because is based on the method that we used. There's different methods. We could have collected deep, but for our sake of wanting to investigate the recent geologic past, only 10,000 years or so, we used what's called a Chirp Device, which stands for compressed high intensity radar pulse. So it's this high intensity sound, basically, that we send off of the back of a boat, and then when it hits the seafloor, it reflects and it's reflection. So it reflects off of the different layers, and then we interpret those layers. But back to the intensity and why it's shallow. Because it's high intensity, we get a high resolution, but shallow depth of penetration of our source. So if we used a low intensity, then we would get low resolution but high penetration. We would go maybe to say 200 feet or maybe even deeper, depending on the frequency of the sound. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. So you would have, just as much data, but it wouldn't be as clear.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when we're looking at these images of the subsurface from this Chirp data, it's really high resolution. You can see these paleo channels and these paleo valleys that are now filled with sand from the beach processes.
Okay. And are you getting image data back from the Chirp?
It's just black and white, but it's an image. Yeah, we would call it an image. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just black and white. So we kind of, my advisor set up this survey, and she set up a grid. So we did, I don't know, I forget how many, like let's say 6 lines north and south, and then 10 lines east and west. And then from those lines, you can match different depths of the valleys and of the channels and say, okay, here we can see the valley and it's 10 feet, and then here it goes down to 15, and paint a picture.
Okay. Wow. That sounds like an awesome project.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I was really lucky because when I went into grad school, I got accepted with one advisor, and then a year in, I switched advisors.
Wow. Is that a not common occurrence?
It's not common, no.
Wow. How was
It's
that for you?
I would say it's uncommon actually,
Wow.
because normally you do research and you find an advisor, and you form a relationship with them prior to being accepted, and then once you're accepted, you already sort of have a baseline relationship, and they understand what you're about and things like that. But I continued. I was planning to continue my undergraduate research with a master's degree, and it didn't end up working out. So I was a little frantic for a few months, and finally I just said, screw it. I'm just gonna ask Jillian, who I had taken classes with before, if she had an extra spot in her research group. And lucky for me, she did. And without without switching, I don't think I would be where I am, because it just provided me with a lot of field experience, you know, not to mention the degree itself, you know. But
The degree changed because you switched advisors?
no, but let's say I chose not to switch advisors, and I just said, oh, I can't work with my old advisor. I can't do it. I'm just gonna quit. You know, I
Yes.
guess that might have been one other option, or I just would have had to, you know, buckle up and try to see if I could have done it with my old advisor, but it wasn't working out.
Nice. That's good that you can recognize that. I mean, some advice would be to buckle up and, power through the next 2, 3 years, but like that, it's your well-being in your life and you
Yeah,
and your work at that point.
exactly.
So you got to enjoy it to the best you can.
Totally.
Did did you only were you was there any option of you going to another school other than SDSU for grad school?
Wow, that is something I haven't thought about in a really long time. Um, when I graduated with my undergraduate degree, my friend who got a degree in computer science got me a job um, working at his company. It's called ServiceNow. Have you heard of them?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
So
ServiceNow. They do like, God, I don't even remember really what they do. They do like business to business relations, and they do a lot of stuff for like creating a ticket for corporate companies. If like my computer fries right now, then I'll put in a ticket with ServiceNow and get my computer fixed. But anyways, so I was working with him as like a data analyst at ServiceNow, and yeah, so while I was working there, I just, for the fun of it, applied to graduate school at SDSU. Um, and I think I applied to some other schools actually, but but I don't even remember which ones at this, like, right now. I haven't
wow.
thought about that in so long, like 3 years or however many years. Five, 2000, I haven't thought about that since 2016, so 5 years. Yeah,
The last 5 years flew by.
yeah, they did. At a it's at a weird rate too. Like like right now, if I like as we're talking about it, I'm like, holy crap, 5 years, that's a really long time ago. But then as it happened, there were so many stressful things that happened, like switching advisors or just stressful things that happen at our age group, I guess. But yeah, looking back now, I'm like, holy crap, flew by.
Flew by. Yeah. I mean, it flew by, but you're right. Like a lot of, you got your entire graduate degree during that time. And, even this last pandemic caused things to, I think, kind of,
Yeah, like the last year went by pretty slow. I don't know, for me maybe just not really doing a lot and just kind of hanging out at my house. Um but looking at it as 5 years, it's like, where did the time go? Kind of, like, what have I
yes,
done?
I know. What have I done? I feel like we can think that, but like compared to 5 years, like sometimes I think that, like, what have I done? It's been 5 years since I graduated college, but then you look back and you're like, wow, there's actually quite a bit here, and it seems like for you too, there's like you've done quite a lot in the last 5 years since undergrad.
Yeah, I guess having a conversation with you, it's reassuring because I don't think that these conversations happen enough, where we look back and we think and we just discuss our successes and our struggles, really, because that if well, maybe you do it more than I do, or maybe not, but that might help. What is that called? Just like reflecting?
I think so. Reflection.
Yeah, I don't really do a lot of that. I kind of just like frantically get things done and then forget about it.
Yes. I mean, that's kind of the standard, and it's tough to reflect.
It is.
Like, you kind of have to make time for it, and then I feel like I'm always behind on everything that I need to do anyways. So to go backwards is just like kind
I
of
don't have time to reflect.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Oh man. But we'll see what happens. I think, it's the last 5 years were really, a lot and kind of fast, and the next 5 years seem like they might be even more change and kind of faster.
Yeah. So what's going on with you? Where are you working?
I am working for a company that provides technology services for the Navy. Um, I was working there. I no longer work there. So I am currently unemployed. I am probably going to get a job within the next couple of months. I'm thinking about just taking a few months to myself. Um,
Yeah.
just because like I've been working since for the last 5 years, and I'm
Just
ready
need
for
some time off, right?
yes, just need some
I
time
hear you,
off.
man. I hear you.
And
So
what
was the company that you were working at, was it like pretty, were you working like long hours and just like working, they were overworking you, or?
no, they were very good to me. They
Oh,
were
really?
they were very good to me. You know, they kind of, we're all going to the point of getting back into the office, and for me that's just not where I was. So, I was just like, I think I need a break, and they're a very good company. They very accommodating to me, and also I work pretty closely with the US government, and they were very accommodating as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Dang, that's good to hear, man. I'm glad they were treating you right.
I
Some of
yeah.
the government agencies that we work with as as clients are like very difficult to work with, just
They are.
because they're very strict and it's their way, and just it's tough, but you got to do it, right?
You got to do
Well,
it.
at least in consulting is like the top of that's, if I could describe my job in one word, it's consulting. So it's kind of just pleasing our client.
That's the name of the game. Pleasing the client. Just keep,
It is.
keep them happy and keep the checks, coming every couple weeks.
What's that?
Keep the payments coming every couple weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Then so you decided to go into graduate school when you were already done with undergrad.
I just got a knock on the door, but when I finished my undergrad, I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I think I was just kind of, let's see, I got the job at ServiceNow right after I graduated. It was like, let's say I graduated in December 2000, what was it, 2015? I started working at ServiceNow January 2016 and worked there for 6 months. Luckily, I applied to graduate school because when the job that I got hired for at ServiceNow was only like a 6-month contract.
Wow.
So I applied to graduate school in January, just like, why not? And maybe some other places, why not? Who knows how this ServiceNow thing's gonna pan out, right? And at the end of the 6 months, they were like, like, you're not a computer scientist. Like, we don't need you.
Wow.
So the contract was over, which is expected, right? I'm not a computer scientist. I couldn't be mad at them for that. And in April, I had actually gotten acceptance to the graduate school program.
But you kept your job until July, right?
Exactly.
Nice.
So I kept my job until July, and then I had maybe just like a normal school summer from July until August, like maybe 2 months or so, and then I started graduate school.
Wow. So that worked. So did you say that you graduated in December of 2015 or?
December, yeah. It took me 4.5 years to do my undergrad.
Okay. Me too.
Mhm.
I graduated in December 2015 as well.
Did you start working right after? In January, right on the dot?
No, I had a really tough time finding my first job. I was a tutor for that actually paid really well too. I was a tutor for like community college courses for like 4 or 5 months, and because I didn't want a contract. I actually have a question. Did you have insurance provided with your contract?
No, not at ServiceNow. It was like, I can't even remember if it was a full-time position. Yeah, I think it was a full-time position, but I didn't get any benefits.
Okay. What did you go uninsured for that time?
Yeah, I was still, because I was only 22 or 23. I think I was 22, so I was still just under my parents.
Oh,
I
that's
was under my
awesome.
parents until I was 26, and luckily I got this job like the year that I turned 26. So now I have insurance through this company. But a lot of my friends just on the topic of insurance, a lot of my friends just do like covered California, and they don't really have any issues, you know what I mean? Like they're just paying whatever the fee is once a month or whatever. And they're
Covered
just doing
California?
covered California. I think that's what it is, right?
I've never heard of that. Wow. Is it some sort of affordable health insurance?
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Covered California. The reason that I know this is the other day in the mail from my insurance company. This was a little alarming, actually. I got a thing in the mail from Cigna, which is my insurance provider, and they said in the event that you leave your current role at your company, Cigna will auto enroll you in covered California in some covered California insurance policy.
Wow. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, of
I
course. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
glad that you're getting something out of this other than rock talk.
Rock Talk is good, but yeah, health insurance is also very good too. Oh man, I'm glad that if I'll do some research and find out, but do you have friends that are on this plan?
Well, I mm, I have friends that are on like I can't think of exactly what it's called right now. I have friends that just do like God, I'm gonna sound not that smart right here, but just like the Obamacare, you know what I mean? Like the Medi-Cal or whatever it is.
Okay. I don't know too much about it, but I will check it out, especially
Mhm.
now that, Cobra is a lot of money. And like I did that once. I switched employers and I did Cobra for 1 month, and that was a huge amount of money. So I don't know if I want to do that again.
Yeah, they screw us over, man. They take our money one way or another.
One way or another, dude. Oh man. I wanted to ask also, other than geology, when we were younger, you were really into skateboarding, and
Yeah.
it seems like that passion hasn't faded at all.
No, no, it hasn't faded. I still love skateboarding. It's definitely like my what do you call it? Just like my hobby, you know? And I met my girlfriend through skating and yeah, we skate as much as we can, but this job has definitely taken away from the time that I can put into skateboarding. And it's kind of skateboarding is very well, it's the kind of thing that you need to do every day to stay on top of it, and it's just too physically demanding, especially with my job being field based for different parts of the year, and it's a little too risky for my job as well because I don't want to miss out on work because I rolled my ankle or sprained my wrist or something like that, you know. So when I do skate, I just take it easy, roll around, do some tricks that I know I'm capable of, and really just skate within my abilities. And it keeps me from getting gray hair, you know, not
Yes.
yet. You know, it keeps me young, or at least I like to think so.
Nice. Being outside and just, out, how long do you usually skateboard if you're out there?
Oh, just like an hour or two, nothing too crazy.
Very healthy, you
Yeah.
know. How many days a week would you say?
Well, the last time I skated was probably 2 weeks ago, and then I actually had to get I for the past 6 months or so I haven't really been skating to my full potential because I've had this is gonna sound so like Nancy, but I I've had an ingrown toenail.
Oh wow. That can be a real
Yeah.
pain.
Yeah, it's like it's not even that painful, it's just like kind of annoying to the point where I can't really put too much pressure on my toe, but I got it surgically cut out. Like, when
Wow.
was it? Maybe like this Friday will be 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Wow, that sounds like a really intense ingrown toenail.
Yeah, it wasn't like gross and infected or anything. It was just bothersome.
Well, that's good you got it taken care of. Is it feeling better?
It's feeling better. It's pretty gross looking right now. They had to use silver nitrate to like cauterize the cuticle because it sounds so insane, right? When he cut
Yes.
out the side of the nail, it was just like gushing, you know.
Gushing
So
with
he
like
had to
pus?
use what's that?
Gushing with pus?
With blood.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I was not learning.
okay.
And yeah, he
You were
put this
still
thing, he called
awake?
it like what's that?
You were still awake during this?
Yeah, but my foot was numb.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Were you,
he used these silver sticks to apply this silver nitrate to my toe, and now my toe's been black for like 2 weeks. Just the nail part.
because of the silver nitrate?
Yeah.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah. I can walk now though, so
That's good.
pretty
That's
back to
huge.
normal.
Wow. That's well, yeah, I mean you can't put on any like sort of skating injuries on top of that too.
Right, right. So I had to hang the board up for a week or two, but now that I can walk, I think I might give it a go this weekend.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
long weekend for me. So
Memorial
I would
Day
hate to
weekend.
have this holiday weekend and not get any fun in. So
Yes, that would be tragic.
yeah,
Definitely.
dude, did I see? I have to get going here soon, but did I see you were down in like Mexico City or something like that?
Dude, I was in Chiapas, Mexico.
Yeah,
It's close to I was actually close to the Guatemalan border. In a place called San Cristobal. It was a really awesome time. Uh just, good food, pretty cheap, kind of
yeah.
jungly. Have you ever been to Mexico?
I went to Mexico City in 2000. What year was it? Maybe like 2018.
Okay. How was
It was
that?
awesome. So
I've
cool.
I've been there. It's awesome. Yeah. What did
Yeah.
you do while you were there?
We went to uh, I think it's called Xochimilco on the river,
Okay. I don't know much about it.
and we went to Xochimilco. We went to God the pyramids. I forget. Te
Teclon?
Tehachapi. What is it?
I don't know. Teclon is what I said. I don't know if that's the actual word.
But yeah, we went and saw the pyramids. We went to Xochimilco, which is like this canal. What else did we do? We just did some like more historical sightseeing. That was pretty much it. I think I went skating one day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did
You
you
were there
rent a board?
for 5 days, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you drink mezcal while you were down there?
I did drink mezcal. You?
Yeah.
Super smoky.
I don't know if I like it. I wouldn't drink it anywhere but Mexico. I
I
would never
wouldn't.
order it at the bar, I don't think.
No, I don't. I would never order it at the bar. Just in Mexico. I thought it wasn't too bad. What did you think about it?
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was pretty good. Well, it was my first time having it, so of course I was like, "Oh, this is new," you know. So,
Do you prefer another liquor?
yeah, I would just drink tequila. I normally just drink tequila if I'm drinking liquor, but or else I'll just drink like beers or White Claws.
Lower carb count.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, I don't want to keep you too long. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Is there any last words or anything you'd like to say before we close?
No, no, nothing really. There's one thing that I will mention. You remember Nicole Kidd?
Yes.
She like messaged me the other day that apparently Aliso Niguel High School is having our 10-year reunion or something like that.
I
which is
heard.
pretty crazy to think about.
It is really crazy to think about.
We were talking about 5 years. I don't know when it is. I don't know if I'll be going, but that's just
You're
something to think about.
you're still in Southern California?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think I'll be going. I plan on,
Where is it? Where is it?
I heard well, I don't know where it is, but I heard it's either end of summer, end of August, or the day after Thanksgiving. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
I think Sean showed me this. I don't know. I don't have a Facebook, but he showed me like that there was a poll between those two dates.
Okay.
It's cool that like, you know, our class is amped about this. It seems like we had a really, really cool high school, class of 2011 at Aliso. There was a lot of great individuals there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, shoot, maybe I will attend. I'll see if I can get added to that group and maybe I'll see you there.
Oh yeah, dude. Maybe I hope to see you there.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for having me, Kourosh.
Thanks for coming on, Matt. See you later.
See ya.